Welcome to another episode of the HR Champions podcast. And joining us today is Garet Arbilon. Now, Garet is the HR manager at Metromart, the number one online grocery delivery service in the Philippines. So, thank you so much, Garet, for joining us for today's episode and welcome to the pod.
Yes. Hi, Homer, and hi to everyone who's listening to this podcast.
Okay. So before I start with my series of questions for you, Garrett, bigyan mo naman kami ng konting summary of your career in HR.
Okay, sure. So most HR professionals, hindi ko na alalahatin, no?
Mm-hmm.
Back then I wasn't really a graduate of psychology or HRDM or business administration. I was actually a graduate of education. In summary, I have around 10 years of experience in HR. I started in the academe and then I shifted to the corporate world. That's when I got attracted in HR. I started in recruitment and then I worked my way up and then during the pandemic, I tried to explore other HR facets like learning and development, shared services, employer relations, and compensation and benefits. But majority of my work experience in HR is really recruitment,
Mm-hmm.
talent management. I've been through different industries like the BPO industry. I've been in the hospitality industry, even in the manpower industry, and now I'm in the e-commerce industry. So yeah.
Nice, nice. Ang galing. So, is HR something you pursued ba? Or,
Honestly, hindi.
oo. Okay, okay.
I want to be honest. I'm a typical millennial.
Mm-hmm.
And when I started working after I graduate, ako rin yung typical na fresh graduate.
Mm-hmm.
Baga, ang alam ko lang, I'm supposed to work as a teacher because I finished secondary education major in English.
Yeah.
So I had to, parang ang mindset ko, I had to adapt, no? Kahit hindi ko feel yung education, kailangan ko mag-adapt, kailangan ko magturo. I actually taught like a year or a few months, and then I realized that the academe isn't really for me, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Hindi siya para sa akin.
Mm-hmm.
So feeling ko, sabi ko, I think I can work in the corporate industry. I just don't know what.
Mm-hmm.
Siguro ang difference lang between me and other fresh graduates out there is as an edu graduate, as a teacher, I had to leverage on my skills. Kumbaga, pinag-isipan ko mabuti kung ano yung um, industry na pwede sa akin based on my skills. And I had to bank on my administrative skills based on what I finished. So I
Mm-hmm.
finished education, I was an English major, so siguro pwede akong may communication skills. I'm pretty sure I have organizational skills, planning, multitasking because I was an edu graduate. And I
Uh-uh.
thought, baka pwede sa akin HR kasi si HR very heavy on admin and organizational skills. And back then, I actually applied for a lot of HR positions. Hindi
Talaga?
talaga nagbabato-bato lang ako ng resume kung
Resume.
saan-saan. Ako, sabi ko baka pwede ako maging help desk, pwede siguro ako maging ER. And luckily, I guess it's really because of my communication skills, I guess. I ended up in the recruitment facet of HR. So I started as a coordinator. Hindi pa ako nag-interview noon. As in, literal na ang ginagawa ko is I just collect the requirements of the
Oo.
employees. So,
Oo.
ganun lang ginagawa ko. So, like most people, I wasn't really like an HR person. I just thought na, ay, siguro ito yung pwede sa akin. And then
Mhm.
initially, of course, I didn't know that I was going to fall in love in the HR industry,
Oo.
which admittedly I did. Doon ko na naintindihan na mukhang pang HR nga ako. And then throughout my work experience and recruitment, that's when I felt the kind of fulfillment that everyone is looking for in their careers. Back then, nung nasa manpower industry ako, we were hiring a lot of skilled workers. It was the first
Mhm.
time that I felt na, uy, rewarding pala ang recruitment, rewarding pala ang HR. Talent management is really rewarding because you get to help someone progress not just in their careers
Career,
but
oo. The
more so in
life.
their life. Yeah.
Mhm.
Kasi talagang nagpapasalamat sila na sa'yo na, sir, ma'am, thank you po kasi binigyan niyo ako ng trabaho, kailangan ko ng trabaho, yung anak ko nasa ospital, yung nanay ko nasa ospital, and talagang naghahanap ako ng trabaho, ito lang po yung trabaho
Oo.
talagang natanggap ako, something like
Oo.
that. So yeah, it wasn't a journey that started being passionate with HR. It was a journey going to, becoming a passionate HR personnel. So yeah.
Mm. In your 10 years in HR, so far what's the biggest challenge you had as an HR leader?
Medyo mahirap yung tanong, no? As an HR, as an HR personnel, honestly, my very first challenge was mastering each of the facets. Kasi, yun nga, I'm not really an HR person. I didn't take up any courses in industrial psychology or business administration. So, trying to learn each of the facet was a challenge for me as an individual. But as an HR leader, apart from that, I think one of the biggest challenge I encountered in human resources is really the talent management.
Mm.
So, back then kasi nung nagsisimula ako sa HR, I thought na si talent management recruitment lang siya. So, sourcing out people, getting the best talents in the company. But when I stepped in the L&D facet, that's when I realized that the talent management or talent management itself is a whole process. So, kumbaga, meron siyang recruitment, meron siyang retention, and then meron din siyang development and upskilling. And for me, it
Yes.
was a challenge because, like all the other HR professionals out there, retention is really a challenge. Kasi
Mhm.
napakabilis ng attrition, lalo na dito sa Pilipinas. Kasi ang
Mhm.
daming available na trabaho, ang daming mas malaking sahod. So it was one of the biggest challenges that I had, which I think I'm still mastering up until today. But, it's a fun process. So yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Nice, thank you. Thank you for sharing, Garrett. Actually, yung next question ko is about related dun. So, there's a recent study wherein the top three challenges for HR. It's a survey for the HR community. Ha. The top three challenges that they consider the toughest for them is recruitment, top three. Top two is employee engagement, and top one is what you shared, employee retention.
Employee retention.
So when I first heard that, quite surprised kasi I thought recruitment yung pinakamahirap kasi that's the
Correct.
time when HR will try to sell the company to the applicant, di ba? But I want to know your thoughts on bakit retention yung pinakamahirap.
Would say that retention is the biggest challenge because, well, for one, no, yung pinaka system on how employees see working transitioned or shifted, no, nung normal setting versus when it came to the pandemic era, and ngayon bumabalik na naman tayo sa endemic. So
Mhm.
nag-shift siya ng nag-shift. That's one of the many reasons. So during the pandemic, nandiyan yung quiet quitting, and then there was also a time wherein, like the professionals here in the Philippines, or actually all over the world, shifted their work, no, nag-adjust lahat from working on site to work from home, and then ngayon nag-shift na naman from work from home to,
Back to office. Mhm.
back to the office. So ngayon ang hirap na naman mag-recruit because most professionals would like to work remotely because they think it works because it worked for the last 3 years or
Mhm.
whatnot. So I think that's one of the many reasons why employee retention is a challenge. But even before the pandemic naman, employee retention is really a challenge and still continue to be a challenging thing in the HR industry. Apart from the things that I said kanina, one of the other reasons is because simply because no, we are in a third world country, so benefits compensation is really important for most of us. Financial stability, financial health, that's also important.
Yes.
And then of course secondary dyan yung yung growth, no, because we have this annual employee pulse survey. It's also what we see. So pangalawa yung growth. They don't see any growth within the company, whether it's promotion or skills, upskilling, development on their growth itself. It's one of the things that they're looking for. And then pangatlo na yung making everyone happy, which is employee engagement. Well, there's a deeper meaning to that, but it's one of the things why employee retention is really a challenge. But I think if used correctly, Homer, I really believe that yung employee retention is the biggest asset, no?
Mhm.
Ng isang organization. They just have to play it correctly. Kasi if employee retention is good and you have a very good talent management process, employee retention actually promotes growth within the company and cost effectiveness. Because of course, instead of hiring good talents from outside, you can easily get internal talents,
Mm.
invest on them, and keep them, no? Mag-grow sila along with how the organization grows. So yeah.
Yeah, I like that yung ano 'no, organic yung ano, there's no need for you to source out talents kasi within the ano nandun na, eh, you just have to develop them, eh, 'di ba?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Correct. Yes, I agree. Yeah.
Okay, sige. Eto Garrett, for you, what will be the top 3 skills or must-have skills for an HR practitioner to survive and to not just survive, to thrive sa human
Just
resources?
right.
Mhm.
Okay. That's a good question. But
Mhm.
apart from the usual skills that most HR personals have, like communication skills, interpersonal skills, problem
Mhm.
solving, and critical thinking, I think three of the most important ones are the ones that are usually neglected. First one is empathy, and
Uh-huh.
empathy is very important in the HR industry. Without empathy, you will survive, yes, but you will not thrive. So your question was to survive and thrive. So if you want to
Mhm.
do both, you need to have empathy. Empathy is important for an HR personnel kahit saang facet ka pa, because you get to deal with different types of people. And empathy
Yes.
doesn't actually just mean na na ina-acknowledge mo yung problem or concern ng employee. No, empathy is relating to these people, seeing yourself in the shoes of other people.
Mhm.
And human resources, no, from the word itself, human, you have to relate yourself to these people for you to be able to understand them and for you to be able to actually help them. Second is decision making. Very important in any facet of HR, no, whether it's recruitment, employer relations, compensation and benefits, L&D, employee engagement. Decision making is very important with HR kasi there has to be a balance between being objective and being subjective, 'di ba? Kasi nag-implement ka ng rules, but you also have to be empathic, no?
Yes,
Hindi
exactly.
porket naka-violate si employee ng ganitong rule, dapat i-terminate mo siya. No,
Oo.
and you have to
Mm.
know the reason behind it. Bakit niya ba ginawa yon? Was there an underlying reason? Meron ba siyang pinagdadaanan and whatnot? And then finally, uh, empathy, decision making, and then finally, discernment. This one, I think, I just realized this kaninang umaga.
Talaga?
Initially, I had to put problem solving there, but
Okay.
I thought, hindi, problem solving for all industries na yan. Dapat talaga, kahit saang team ka, meron kang problem solving and analytical skills. I think
Mhm.
discernment is important. For me, discernment means knowing the best answer from two right answers. So may dalawang tamang sagot. If you're an HR, dapat alam mo kung ano yung best answer. And that, I think, is discernment. Discernment is something that hindi mo pwedeng pag-aralan from books. I think it takes experience, it
Yes.
takes practice to do it.
Mm.
Just like having wisdom, having experience, getting to know people, getting to know their culture, being able to communicate and relate to these people. Discernment is very important because you also have to be fair. So,
Mm.
ayun. So I think those are the three top skills that an HR practitioner should have to be able to survive and thrive in the industry. So yeah.
Nice. Okay. So that's empathy, decision making, and then discernment. Garrett, can you like share an experience or an observation wherein yung well-being ni employee was not given a priority? Kasi 'di ba for
Mm,
HR, syempre HR is the one who takes care of the people, 'di ba? And for you to
yes.
take care of them, syempre you have programs that you will roll out. And syempre kailangan ng approval ng management, 'di ba? And sadly there are times na si management will have to decline on your programs. I'm not sure if you experienced that kung meron or an observation at least can you share something?
Siguro, Homer, thankfully I haven't had any experience on that kasi which is good, no, kasi I've been in the parang formal corporate and in a startup setting. Thankfully wala pa naman akong na-experience na ganyan, but I had a few observations, I would
Mhm.
say. Based doon sa observation ko, I would have to answer in general, no, but
Sure,
I'm
sure.
gonna give examples naman.
Mm.
In general, for me, yung organization that doesn't prioritize well-being is an organization that is not compliant, meaning hindi nakaka-comply sa deadlines ng remittances, no, yung mga hulog ng SSS, PhilHealth, and Pag-ibig, and I saw a lot of those.
Mhm.
Um, Good that I haven't experienced it, pero may mga ibang organizations na talagang nade-delay. Possible kasi meron silang challenge sa manpower. Usually, ganun naman eh, di ba? Kulang yung tao sa compensation and benefits team and whatnot. So that's one. Second, if a company uh, doesn't really have integrity. When I say integrity, parang sinabi niya na, oh, ito yung nakalagay sa kontrata mo. You have like this number of vacation leaves and this number of sick leaves. Pero hindi nag-a-approve ng leaves.
Oo,
So,
yes. Oo,
those
may
are one of
gano'n.
the things. Yeah.
Mm.
Oo, yun. So, yun yung usual. Pero I think the biggest thing that I've observed and I have seen, and this is really recent, and I'm very careful on this kasi karamihan ng workforce natin right now experience challenges in their mental health and overall well-being. I think a company that doesn't implement a benefit or anything that is related to taking care and ensuring that their workforce has a good mental health is something that that's really bad. Kasi more than the benefits itself, especially the mandatory ones, yung pagkakaroon ng programs on mental health and prioritizing mental health, like yung pagpo-promote or pag-create ng policies on bullying,
Mm.
anti-discrimination is really important. Now, some organizations think that it's not important, no?
Sadly.
But yeah, sadly, but Dole says otherwise, so everyone is supposed to comply, no? But I think if we don't prioritize those things, hindi lang attrition ang pwede nating makita sa organizations, no? Even the worst type of burnouts, the worst type of feedbacks and complaints from these employees that would manifest doon sa pagbagsak din ng mismong organization. So, yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
eto, my next question to you, Garrett, is ngayon, yung workforce ngayon kasi is like a mix, 'di ba? We have different generations that are working. So each generation parang has their own, sabihin nating, blind spot and bright spots, 'di ba? So mga Gen Zs ngayon, ito yung mga digital natives na talagang
Uh-huh.
very well versed when it comes to technology and being online, 'di ba? And then you have this generation of yung mga earlier na sila naman
Mm-mm.
yung, I would say, loyal, very resilient when it comes to different pressures sa work. So as an HR leader, how do you see or strike the balance wherein let's develop a culture na parang inclusive, that everyone on those generation can grow and thrive sa company?
That's a good question. I think I had that. I had that question in one of my interviews before,
Talaga?
but that's a yeah. But around nasa job interview. Yeah, but that's a good question. I like that question.
Mm,
I think the first thing that an HR leader or a leader, per se should have in mind, dapat alam niya na sa sarili niya or tanggap niya na there should be an acceptance of change. And we all know that change is inevitable.
mhm,
Some leaders, not saying that lahat ng season, but some season leaders do not accept that, no? Feeling nila kapag kamay na bakal ka lang. Implementation, ito dapat, mahigpit tayo. No? But I think the first thing that you have to think about is you have to accept that change is inevitable. And you have to accept also that change is there and it could occur faster than you think. Right?
Mhm.
So if you accept that change is there, then you have to also know na yung leadership style mo, no, not just as an HR leader but as a leader per se, is dapat hindi rin siya iisa lang. Dapat nakadepende siya dun sa type ng team or type ng employee that you have. Okay? So basically, you have to be a flexible leader. Leaders really have to be flexible kasi magkakaiba na yung ugali ng employees natin. And they
Yes.
also behave differently.
Differently.
Hindi, yeah, correct. So yung leadership style mo, hindi pwedeng authoritative lang for everyone because not everyone responds to that good. No? Micromanager ka, ima-micromanage ko lahat. But you have an employee that doesn't really need micromanaging. Kaya niyang mag-work mag-isa, no? Without minimal or with minimal supervision. So I think that's the best thing that you have to do. You have to align your leadership style to the type of employees that you have, but you also have to get to know your employees as well. Okay, and how do you do this? Through open communication. Um, you have to get to know your team, um, communicate with them, learn their culture. You don't have to get to know them personally, but you have to get to know them as an employee or as a professional. I really applaud my CEO before sa Astecom kasi for a CEO that manages 5 different companies, she still
Hmm.
gets to do weekly one-on-one meetings with her Mancom team. So imagine,
Wow.
parang lahat kami wala kaming excuse para hindi mag one-on-one meetings
Oo.
with our teams, 'di ba? So I think that's a huge thing. It makes all the difference. Iba pa yung huddles, meetings nyo between, with other people versus actually getting to know your team itself through one-to-one meetings. And then from there, you get to adjust the leadership style. So, yeah.
I like that. Tama ka dun sa ano eh, sa flexibility and being adaptable. 'Di ba? You really have
Mm-hmm.
to know. I like what you said na you don't need to know that person personally, 'di ba? So you just have to understand their culture, their as an employee, 'di ba? Yung ano nga nila, yung generation nila, 'di ba? Again, iba-ibang ano eh, iba-ibang
Yes, correct.
what applies to them might not apply to the younger ones, 'di ba? So
Correct. Yes,
doon
yes.
papasok yung pagiging flexible sa approach. But the goal is
Mm-hmm.
to make them feel that hey, you belong here. Kasama ano ka pa rin namin, you're part
Yeah.
of the team. Okay. Let's talk about
Mm-hmm.
health. Kasi in the recent years, 'di ba? Attention has been really focused on the mental and physical health, especially nung COVID, 'di ba? Kasi when everyone is working from home, 'di ba? Ang laking factor nung burnout and doon pumasok talaga yung mga initiatives ng HR na for us to address that challenge. Kailangan natin ng mga mental health seminars, mental health webinars, 'di ba? And then nandiyan din yung yoga kung familiar ka sa
Mm-hmm.
kasi 'di ba kahit
Yes.
kahit online ginagawa pa rin yung yoga for physical,
Nagagawa siya.
'di ba?
Oo.
For physical health. But
Yes.
one thing that I think that was parang set aside
Mm.
was the financial health of employees. So how do you see financial health as a focal point when creating employee engagement programs? Or benefits na
That's
rin, sige.
actually
Mm.
sa benefits.
Mm.
Mm-mm. Okay. That's actually a good thing, Homer. And I'm very proud to say that in one of the organizations I worked with before, financial health really was one of our focus. Kasi um well, for most companies kasi 'di ba nag-offer sila ng benefits but they don't really give emphasis or importance to financial health.
Mhm.
In my previous organization, we believe kasi that educating employees on their finances is the foundation of having
Yes.
a good, well, finance flow and having a healthy overall well-being. So it's one of the things that we actually emphasized on. And I believe that it's really important. Kasi, being in a third world country, frankly, yung financial health is not really one of the things na talagang binibigyang pansin
Mhm.
sa bansa natin. And a vast majority of Filipinos, even professionals, no, might not have access to this. Right? So kapag ka yung isang company meron tayong tinatawag na unfair advantage, you have to maximize it. That's why we always promote financial health. The thing that we did before doon sa ano namin sa financial as a organization ko before, doon sa buong 12 months kasi syempre meron kang calendar of activities because I was also leading the employee engagement team before. So
Mhm.
sa buong 12 months, you have to plot your activities. Meron kaming 2 buwan na nakalaan. Magkaibang 2 buwan yun na nakalaan for not financial health, not just financial health, but more of financial literacy,
Mm.
which also involves financial health. So meron kaming sessions on educating employees on how they can save up, no? How they can invest, how they can maximize yung sahod na meron sila, how to grow it, no? Kasi for some companies, they don't even encourage,
Mm.
um, employees investing on something or making their own small business. For us, it was important. Parang para sa amin, sige, kung gusto mo explore yan, go. If you think that will make your financial status better, then go for it. We even had meron kaming engagement program before na apart from the webinars, ganyan, meron kaming parang ano siya mini, what do you call this? Parang mini parang merkato ng mga mini stores. It was
Okay.
online. We did it online. So parang gumawa lang kami ng Zoom rooms tapos
Talaga? Galing,
naka-group
ah.
siya. Yeah, per type. So parang meron doon mga vendors, employees namin na nagtitinda ng food, merong clothing line and whatnot. So si employee, diba ako gusto ko mag-purchase. No, papasok lang ako doon sa Zoom room, ay parang gusto ko ng pagkain. Papasok ako sa Zoom room na to. Tapos makikita ko na yung mga different stores. So I can buy. So parang ganun. So it's the type of programs and we get to change it yearly. Naka-base kami doon sa program namin before. Like there was a year na financial literacy kami on insurance. The next year after that, nag-boom yung Axie, yung Bitcoin. So we did a session on that,
Crypto.
no?
Mhm.
So employees, yeah, crypto para may knowledge sila. But every year we get to do programs on savings. We even invite yung mga institutions para mag-talk or even offer something to our employees. So I think it's really important. Financial health and financial literacy is important because educating employees is important. Iba yung bibigyan mo sila ng benefits there, but it's also bigger and deeper if you get to teach them how to manage their finances. So yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. I like yung ano, yung merkato niyo, ah. Parang ang gandang idea nun, ah. Let's
Yes.
move on, Garrett, on social media. Kasi 'di ba, primarily, or even before, familiar ka ba sa Friendster?
Yes, oo, nabot ako pa yun.
'Di
High
ba?
school ako.
Oo. 'Di ba, parang kasi before yung mga social media, it's more on person lang, for person, mga ano lang, to connect with your friends, 'di ba? Ganun yung purpose ng social media. And then eventually when organizations see the opportunity, may ano, may audience or may community sa social media. So why let's create our channel, 'di ba? And then as time progress, they're making use of social media to promote yung services nila. Parang marketing na rin, sales and marketing.
Ah,
And then,
correct. Yeah.
'di ba? And then eventually, they are now capitalizing or taking advantage of those platforms. Ano pa ba? Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, 'di ba? Now they are making use of that to promote yung culture within the company, 'di ba? That's the
Yeah, correct.
they're making use of that to to recognize employees, 'di ba? To
Mm-hmm.
promote employees, to promote again yung culture within the company. And then, ano pa ba? CSR activities, dun na rin nila shine-share, 'di ba?
Yes.
So,
Mm-hmm.
as an HR, ano yung role ninyo when it comes to those things? Kasi of course, people will see those posts, 'di ba? So, meron bang in your experience, ano yung say ni HR when it comes to those things na nakikita ng tao in the social media ni company?
On my experience kasi, we really use social media mainly to promote the culture and values of the company.
Mhm.
Well, we do that so we can attract talents. No? Kasi for us, culture is really important. And culture is something that you don't see in books, no? You don't see doon sa documents ng sa registration ng company. Kasi
Oo.
vision mission is there, diba? Values is there, but culture is not there. We believe kasi well, kasi ngayon, 'di ba, karamihan na ng oras ng mga tao ay nakalaan na sa internet and sa social media. So we believe that promoting culture through social media is important kasi social media is very organic, no? Yung mga pinopost ng mga tao, sinishare ng mga tao, it's their actual experience. Hindi, kumbaga, it's first hand from their personal account. So
Mhm.
it's organic promotion of culture. So, ang part ni HR doon before, in my previous organization, even now, we work hand in hand with our marketing team to ensure that they get they get the actual organic posts from our employees. So kami we encourage our employees, o sige, mag-post kayo about the company. Let us know what you think. Okay? For most branding teams, they would actually filter yung mga positive ones, but HR encourages integrity, no? Kasi it's also a way for us to know kung talaga bang napopromote natin yung culture dito sa company. Totoo ba
Hmm,
na nagpo-promote
mm.
tayo ng work-life balance? Let's check this hashtag. It's a public hashtag. Check it. No, you will see if there's really work-life balance in the company. So, yun, I think it's one of the most important things. If you want to really know the true culture and if it's manifesting in the company, you should check their social media accounts and check the public posts of their employees. Kasi I'm pretty sure you know Glassdoor. Glassdoor is where employees post their feedback
Oo.
regarding the
Yes.
company. More than that, social media is also an organic platform where you can see kung totoo ba na ito yung culture ng isang company. So yeah.
Mm. Talk about naman AI. So we're not going
Mm,
to really deep dive to AI.
uh-uh.
But 'di ba, as you
Mm-mm.
know, AI has this like immense potential, 'di ba?
Mm-mm. Correct.
And it's yung AI different forms naman siya. And how do you see HR, I mean AI along with
Mm-mm.
its different forms help HR make things easier, make the processes easier or more streamlined for you?
Okay. So good question also, Homer, no? Kasi most of our HR people right now think na pwede silang i-replace ng AI.
Mhm.
Actually, from what I know and from what I learned, AI would only would not replace humans, but instead it would make us more efficient. Kumbaga, it will aid us into becoming more efficient. Now, if there are any types of work na paulit-ulit or recurring, maybe AI can help us with that. So we can maximize productivity. We can, we can transition or ilalagay natin yung full productivity or full attention natin doon sa mga bagay that actually matters like decision making, proper judgment, and really acting on what's important. Kumbaga yung mga admin things, mga bagay na pwede naman nating ibigay kay bot, maybe the AI can do it. So
Mhm.
example in recruitment, no? Sa recruitment kasi meron kang sourcing, interviewing, and ganyan-ganyan. Interviewing should definitely be done by a human. I mean, how are you going to ask questions, di ba? How are you going to evaluate if this employee or if this candidate is qualified? No?
Mhm.
But the paper screening part, that can be done by a bot. No? Meron ka lang
Yes.
certain algorithm na ilalagay and then based on the required skills and qualifications, the bot can shortlist a number of profiles or resumes
Mhm.
that it thinks suited. From there, you get to interview the people that are qualified. So meron ka nang natanggal na malaking chunk. Now you can emphasize or focus your attention into quality of hires through interviewing, right?
Mhm.
For other facets like let's say compensation and benefits, some organizations right now naka-manual pa, but a lot of organizations are already
Shifting to
veering out
ano?
from that.
Mm.
Yeah, they're shifting to AI, no? Yung mga HRIS, it's very automated. Meron na kayong time and attendance, automatic na compute na siya ni AI. So, the payroll personnel would just have to validate kung accurate ba yung attendance from there. But some bots can actually do that already. So, it makes things easier, and it gives you more time to the things that actually matter. Even for other facets, in my previous company, meron kaming AI bot for basic HR increase, so we can focus on the deeper increase that needs more attention, like yung mga disputes, no, yung mga computation ng taxes and whatnot. So yung mga basic increase lang, like how do I file my SSS maternity benefit? The AI can handle that
Mm.
because meron na siyang information on that. So it's not supposed to replace us as the workforce. It's supposed to make us more efficient so we can focus on the things that matter. So yeah.
Yes. Okay, sige. Let's move on, Garrett. Let's see, talk about naman sa ano, sa talent acquisition, 'di ba? So nowadays, any company in the world can tap Filipino talents.
Correct.
So hindi lang local companies yung nagko-compete sa mga empleyado, mga Filipino employees because we are
Mm,
skilled,
mm,
we are
mm,
very
mm.
we are very conversant when it comes to English. So ang laki ng market when it comes to Filipino talents. So, how do you see your company adapting to these challenges? Kasi
Yeah.
it's no secret these companies can offer higher salaries, work from home, work from anywhere, work remotely, 'di ba?
Mm,
And
mm,
talagang merong mas mayaman, may makakapag-offer ng mas malaki. So
mm.
how do you see your company, Metromart, to adapting to this challenge?
Right now we're actually refining our recruitment process. And before kasi talagang yung mga recruiters, their main strategy is to actually sell the company benefits, no? Dati talagang on-site, pero nababali yung on-site work na yon because they
Mhm.
want to get the best talents through remote working, ganyan, which I honestly do not believe, no? Kasi as a person who's been recruiting for quite some time already, based on my experience, I know that selling the benefits and compensation is one, but the best thing that would get you the best talent is to sell the growth of the position and the company itself.
Mhm.
So, which is good, no? Most especially kapag nasa startup ka, like me. So right now, I'm
Mhm.
in a startup setting. So kapag nag-offer ako ng mga executives, or I get to interview them, what I really emphasize more on is the growth that is within the company. So syempre kapag bago yung team, pioneering yung team, or talagang growing, scaling yung company, there are a lot of opportunities for growth, right? So you tell them na, oh, dito sa company namin, right now it's our first time hiring a lead, but we don't have an operations manager really. So this is a chance for you to prove that you might be an operations manager in the future. And we're doing that because what we want is to establish a very stable talent management process. So
Mhm.
that's one. Um, Second, I also emphasize on the culture, right? So yung culture of how the team works, no? Why do we do on-site? We do on-site because we encourage collaboration and teamwork within the company. Feeling kasi namin, or this is based on our experience, we know that it's better to work with people when you're with them in one office and whatnot. So that's what we do. We emphasize on culture and the talent
Mhm.
management process and growth within the company. So yeah.
Mhm. Okay, speaking of balikan ko lang konti to, Garrett, yung benefits. What
Mm-mm.
do you think will be an ideal benefit for a company to roll out to improve yung um engagement and attrition numbers ni company?
Siguro apart from the usual benefits or rewards program, I think most of the companies should also promote education within their companies.
Mm.
So ako kasi pag nag-o-offer ako, siguro I'm lucky enough to get candidates na talagang nagtatanong about trainings, how do I grow, ano ba yung next step for me if I get hired, ganyan. So apart from the actual rewards or yung employee benefits na normal, education is really important. So, the one na kanina yung pinag-usapan natin on financial health and financial education is one.
Mhm.
In fact, may mga companies na talagang nag-offer ng actual financial literacy programs. It's really part of their benefits, even insurance, no, and whatnot. I think that's important. And then second would be the actual talent management process. Kumbaga dapat aware si candidate or si potential employee na oy meron palang talent management process itong company na to. When I get in, merong session when I have with my immediate superior, nakukunin yung skills ko, and then from there, I will get to know what's the next level for me, what are the trainings that I need to do para mag-level up ako, and whatnot. Right? Kasi on my experience, educating our employees is would actually make them stay, no?
Mm.
Kasi they know that they're continually growing. And hindi lang sila basta binibigyan na, oh, you're the employee of the year. This year, you get 20,000 pesos. So, anong gagawin ko sa 20,000 pesos? Right?
Mm.
But if you have like a financial literacy program, the candidate will know or the employee will know na, okay, so ito pala yung pwede kong gawin sa 20,000 ko para mag-grow siya. No? In fact, nung may doon sa dati kong company, after the release of the 13th month pay, I just remembered or meron kaming appraisal. Automatic yan, may webinar kami for financial literacy. Oh, kung basta-basta i-gastos yan, huwag mong ubusin yan. This is what you're supposed to do. So yeah,
Mm.
education, I think, no. Some employers ignore this, but ako or based on my experience, no, pag nag-o-offer talaga kami, sinasabi namin na ganito ang training programs namin. Meron kaming learning management system. We have a subscription in LinkedIn Learning where you get a lot of trainings online and whatnot. We have a whole training team that can train you in process improvement, in soft skills, communication, leadership, and whatnot. So yeah,
Mm. Okay. Thank you, Garrett. At since na kwento mo yung 13 month. Kasi 'di ba Q4 is notorious for for resignation fever. Kasi that's the time of the
correct.
year
Yes.
wherein employees are just waiting for the bonus for the 13 month, mga other fringe benefits.
Magpa-file na
Pero,
sila.
pero beneath that, naka-ready na yung ano, yung resignation nila. Parang thinking come January or February depende sa render period nila for resignation. Parang I'm thinking
Mm-mm.
next year will be a fresh new start for me. Ganun yung
Mm.
thinking. So there's something amiss in there, I think. Pero why do you think trend yun sa atin? Siguro hindi lang sa atin, in other countries siguro. But I observed this as an employee myself. Na talagang Q4, marami nang ano diyan, nag-uusap-usap na, 'di
Mm-mm.
ba? So why do you think trend pa rin sa atin 'yun?
I think that's a trend because meron tayong culture kasi na tama ka meron tayong culture. Hindi ko alam kung pati sa labas ng Pilipinas, pero meron tayong culture na New Year, no me, or New
Oo,
Year, it's a
exactly.
fresh start. Maybe I can change jobs and whatnot. But I believe, Homer, that it only happens for an employee who doesn't really feel that they're growing within the company. Kumbaga, yung mga employees na nakaka-feel na hindi naman ako nag-grow dito, baka pwede ako mag-New Year, no me sa ibang company. So after ng
Aha.
13th month, pag nakuha ko na to, alis na ako, magpa-file na ako ng resignation. For some
Mm.
employees, for sure they only do that because matagal na talaga nilang gustong mag-resign. Hintay lang nila yung 13th month because ang bukang bibig nila ay pinaghirapan ko yan, dapat makuha ko yan on time.
Oo.
So yeah, I think it's a culture thing. For me, it's a culture thing, and it would be a continuous battle, I would say. HR versus the retention of the employees. So it's
Mm.
one of the things that we found out. That's why we battle it out with sa company ko before. After ng release ng 13th month pay, naglalabas na kami ng survey for our year-end recognition program. So parang, wag ka muna umalis, magkuha na kami ng nominations for our recognition program where you get this, and this. And if you resign, then you will not be qualified for this. So
Galing, ha?
it's one of the things that we that we did. So we address
Oo.
attrition like
That's
that. Ayun.
that's strategy, 'di ba? Galing,
Correct, yeah.
galing, 'di ba? Ano, 'pag nakuha niya na yung ano, all these bonuses and 13 month, sige, pasukan natin ng seminar about financial literacy, financial
Financial.
wellness. Ang galing, ang galing. Okay. Sige. Moving on, Garrett. So if there's one like misconception of people, of employees about HR that you want to disprove, ano yun?
I think one of the most misconceptions that I get from, especially from fresh graduates na na-interview ko, is that HR is all admin work. It's not, of course. HR is not just admin work. With that, some people also think that HR is, katulad nung sinabi mo kanina, sabi nila HR is not a core segment daw in any organization because they think HR is all admin and paperwork. And that is, for me, is the worst misconception in HR because HR is okay, fine. It has admin work, but lahat naman ng segment sa company may admin work
May
yan.
admin work, oo.
HR, yeah, right, diba? HR actually is one of the most important foundations in any organization. Kasi HR is mainly talent management. So paano natin malalaman kung ano yung mga right talents na i-hire natin sa company without the correct process, without giving emphasis on the HR process, di ba? Paano tayo makaka-hire ng magaling na CEO or a general manager or a managing director without emphasizing or without giving focal attention to HR? So I think it's one of the many misconceptions. For me, it is admin work, but it's at the hindsight, it's also a foundation na dapat hindi ini-ignore kasi everything starts with recruitment, and you know this. Everything starts with recruitment. Everything starts with sourcing. Everything starts with upskilling your employees, training them to become the next leaders of your organization. So, ayun.
Mhm. Well said. Okay, when it comes to the HR landscape dito sa Philippines, if there's one major change that you want to happen, what would it be?
So in connection with that, since sinasabi nga natin na puro admin si HR, so baka dapat kailangan na nating i-improve ang ating HR tech or yon yung pag-incorporate ng AI because katulad nga nung sinabi ko kanina, there are things or there are processes in our work na paulit-ulit na pwede naman nating i-automate so we can emphasize or we can focus our attention on the things that actually matter. So, yun,
Hmm.
HR tech. Although, I would say na ano naman na siya, no? Kumbaga, slowly moving naman si HR tech dito sa Philippines and sa AI. But there are some things then na kailangan pa nating i-adjust. Like, for example, yung mga ano, no? I'm not saying anything naman, but yung mga government contributions, some of them are still very heavy in paper and human
Mhm.
interaction na repeating steps lang naman. So maybe it's
Mm.
something that we can improve on.
Automate.
So,
Mm.
correct, automate, yes.
Nice. Okay. So Garrett, I'm down to my last question.
Sure.
So for people out there who is thinking of a career in HR, who wants to venture in human resources, so what would be your best advice for them?
Um, I think my best advice for anyone who wants to pursue HR is to be very open-minded. Kasi si HR is very flexible at sobrang, there are similarities in the facets pero sobrang magkakaiba sila, no? Recruitment is very different from training is very different from compensation and benefits, and compensation and benefits is very different from employee relations. So they just have to be open-minded. They have to be someone who's very adventurous because HR has a lot of growth opportunities. Hindi lang growth, even yung personal growth mo will be developed because you get to interact and you get to know different types of people. So I think my advice is to be very adventurous and to never stop learning, always be open to feedback, and always practice empathy. So there.
Nice. Thank you, Garrett. Very well said advice to the young ones who wants to have a career in HR. Okay, before I end the podcast, Garrett, familiar ka ba sa Fast Talk?
Yes. Oh,
Okay, we have this
yes.
fun game. So,
Mm.
set of questions, two choices. Just let me have your best choice, okay?
Okay, sige.
Okay. Work from home or on-site?
On site.
Talaga. Company
Oh,
outing or Christmas party?
company outing.
Empathy or competency?
Empathy.
Okay. Recruitment or training?
Nako, ang hirap.
Isa lang.
I would
O both
say,
ba? Both?
I would say recruitment. Recruitment, yeah.
Recruitment. Okay, nandun yung puso mo sa
Uh, uh,
recruitment eh. Uniform or
yes.
dress down?
Dress down.
Mhm. Microwave or ref sa pantry?
Ref.
Windows or Mac?
Windows.
Mhm. Presenter or part of the audience?
Presenter.
Nice. Calendar or email?
Calendar.
Talaga. And last, Facebook or LinkedIn?
LinkedIn.
Nice. Okay. Thank you so much, Garrett, for taking time to be part of this podcast. I learned a lot, talaga. And I'm sure yung mga listeners natin will also learn a lot from you, from what you've shared. So if there's anyone who wants to connect with you, what's the best way?
They can actually message me on LinkedIn. So it's Garet Arbilon on LinkedIn. I'm always active there. You messaged me. Because I always do recruitment. I hire executives right now, so they can actually message me on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Ayan.
Okay lang ba display ko yung profile mo dito, LinkedIn profile in the screen?
Yeah, oo, okay lang, yes.
Okay, sige. So this has been your HR Champions podcast. See you on our next episode.
All right. Thanks, Omer. Thank you.